Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a new week, and we are here to load you up with everything you need to know.
Let's go.
Get ready for those video calls. Get ready for those, hopefully, a little less video calls. We talked today about how working from home is progressing. I personally have a complaint about video calls. But listen, whether it's video calls, whether you're going into the office, or whether you're on the phone, we're gonna load you up with everything you need to know so you don't sound like a freaking dummy. Because we all know you spent all weekend browsing TikTok and watching football highlights.
We know how those Zooms work. There's that little banter. You got to chime in with something.
Yeah, hey, did you hear about the air quality? You hear about the air quality?
Hey, you know, Travis Scott, big deal for McDonald's, huh? I heard it was about 10 million.
Hey.
Final season of Kardashians, huh? That Kylie sure is doing well for herself.
That damn Zoom banter talk.
Yeah, until the leader
Thiel,
chimes
he's a white
in.
nationalist, right?
Oh, white supremacist, right? All right, yeah.
So now you know our whole episode. Hopefully.
There you go. Well, there's our whole episode. So if
That's
you can
how we
decipher.
start every episode.
Yeah, so everything we just talked about and more, we got a good one. Buckle up. Let's start the week strong together.
Yeah, you saw
Like
those guys booing. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't. Yeah,
I don't like those
no,
black
we
people.
don't like together. You say together, boo. All right, let's go.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, guys. It's a new week.
It
It is a new week.
Who's ready?
I'm ready. I'm actually kind of excited. I made a purchase last week.
Oh, well, would you like to share?
And
with
I
the
don't
group?
buy anything.
Oh, it's a big purchase?
No, it's a few $100.
Okay. Oh, you literally don't buy anything then.
Yeah, I literally don't buy
A few
anything.
$100 is news.
A few $100 for me is a big deal.
Okay. What'd you get? An IKEA coffee table?
No, I mean, and I got a restoration hardware one from Onin last week.
Oh, yeah,
remember?
you're right. Yeah, I forgot.
big purchase.
Man.
I got sucked into some very good marketing.
Uh-oh.
Travis Scott McDonald's.
What was $300?
I bought the merch.
Nice.
Oh,
But
there's
it
a
doesn't
merch?
come for like 2 months, right?
Right.
I bought like the rug, like the floor mat.
Yeah.
It said it'll come in 16 weeks.
16 weeks. Where do you buy it from?
And what's even crazy is that I used whatever, the quick express exit, just checkout, just click, go, because I just didn't want to sit and enter the info.
Yeah.
I entered the incorrect shipping location to some other crap I bought the last time I made a purchase. It's in some random address that I don't even know when. I mean, like, I emailed them. I'm like, can I get this address?
Oh, you're never seeing that.
Never seeing it.
But did they charge you already?
Yeah. Because after the fact, I looked. I'm like, oh man, this isn't my address.
I don't
it's
get
gone.
why McDonald's, a multi-billion-dollar company, can't figure out merch.
No, it was Travis Scott.
It was a Travis Scott.
Oh, it's
collab.
Travis Scott selling it. So Travis Scott's the bottleneck, not McDonald's.
Right. You have to go to Travis
But it's
Scott.
also weird that McDonald's wouldn't be like, hey, can we just take a look at this?
I don't know if McDonald's could execute it either.
Yeah.
I think that they're just like, celebrities are so used to the pre-sale. Like, why take any risk?
Yeah.
Like the clothes, most of the t-shirts and hoodies said like 4 weeks or 6 weeks. Like I bought like some t-shirt, a hat or something.
Yeah.
But then like any of the really like a rug, which I thought, a floor mat, which I thought was kind of cool, was 16 weeks. But I mean, this is by far the biggest thing McDonald's has ever done, right? Like Justin Timberlake.
Well, definitely biggest pop culture, I mean, I would argue probably their Beanie Baby collab was probably.
This
I
is
guess-
also only the second celebrity they've ever done
Who's
a
the
meal
first?
with. First was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And now Travis
Jesus
has become the
Christ.
second.
Good for Travis.
The thing about this one is so different. Why I actually think it's bigger than your typical Happy Meal things is you're going to see the coolest kids wearing McDonald's logos
Yep.
on t-shirts and hoodies.
What do you think that deal was?
I put that on
Fat.
Twitter. So Justin Timberlake, I looked it up, rumored that he got $6 million when he did the commercial on that song. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So Travis to me is 10 million
Yeah, 10.
Easy.
minimum.
And that's
the money.
he gets the
If you think about the impressions they've already gotten,
Yeah.
Oh, and they're selling out. I tried to go get the meal yesterday at 2 locations. Out of Sprite, out of Quarter Pounder.
so what's different about it that made you want to go to the second location?
Well, it's my
That
friends.
you
We
were
were
like-
just trying to get the hype.
The clout. You just wanted to post.
You just wanted to like talk about it.
But
Right.
so
was
what
him,
is it? A
not me.
burger with some BBQ sauce,
Just
right?
a Quarter Pounder, yeah, with bacon.
Yeah, like what's the extra element that they could run out of?
Nothing.
So they're just running out of like
Yes.
the meat patty
Right.
and Sprite.
And because the meal is like the Travis Scott meal is the Sprite with the barbecue
So
sauce and dipping.
what did they run out of?
Quarter Pounders. So I was like,
The
okay,
actual
do you?
patty, like the specific quarter pound
Yes,
patty.
but I was like, okay, can you? We were like, can you make like
Yeah, do a
it on some
diet,
other
Trav.
meat? Yeah. And
do a Trav Light. It comes
she's like,
with a
well, you
regular
could do
pounder.
like a Big Mac and add bacon, and we're like, okay, just do that, and then
But do they have like special boxes and stuff?
I don't know.
Because that has to be the hot
we
commodity.
didn't end up
right?
getting it, so I don't even
Yeah.
know.
Jeez.
I mean, that's 10 million if that's all they paid him.
Yeah, it's cheap.
So cheap.
Pretty incredible.
The amount of
I mean, I just made that up. I could be.
No,
it could
no,
be,
it
But
seems-
I mean,
it
I don't think
seems right.
they wouldn't have given him 50 million, which is probably what it was worth.
Yeah, maybe if they renew. I don't know, man. But
Yeah.
the way it's going viral, like the viral trend on TikTok, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not.
Oh, yeah.
Is people pull up to a McDonald's drive-through to the speaker and they say, you know what I want. And then they just play like a Travis Scott, you know, like
Song.
No way.
whatever the intro is to
Yeah.
that really sicko mode where you hear the, you know, like it's really recognizable. Like you just pull up and you're like, you know what I'm here for. And then you just play that and they're like, all right, pull
I mean,
around.
you can't pay for that. That's ridiculous.
No,
because now
it's
you have to
insane.
go to McDonald's to recreate it.
Yes.
And the millions and millions of impressions on TikTok that they got.
Yep. Because it's like a
It
real
just-
trend.
It
And-
continues to. Sorry to interrupt, but
Oh, yeah, that's
continues
how-
to amaze.
Yeah, you pull up
Yeah.
to McDonald's and play that.
just like blaring
Maybe
it.
you know what I want. They're like, we're sold out, you old
they're like,
idiot.
"Fuck
Wait,
off."
did you go to this McDonald's right here, Pete?
No, over in the West
You
Side.
should try on the
Try
way
that. There's
out.
probably not a lot of Travis Scott fans over here.
Yeah, it's just
I don't know,
homeless
yeah.
people.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that crowd. I don't think they
I don't
listen
think
to
that's the
Travis.
Travis Scott crowd.
No.
We'll pop over there and see.
What were you saying, D?
I say it continues to impress me how like corporate America does not understand popular culture. Look, Travis Scott is the perfect storm at the perfect time
Yep.
with McDonald's, but there are so many people in that like not Travis Scott level, but like culturally relevant that can make such a massive impact for essentially like McDonald's probably buys Super Bowl commercials, right?
Yeah.
And let's say it was $4 million or $3 million for 30 seconds. And production on it is $1 million. And then talent is another couple million. Like they'd spend $10 million on the Super Bowl and no one would talk about it 2 days later.
I mean, if you could see
This
what they
is-
probably spend $10 million on, it's probably insane. Like new
Insane.
packaging from
Oh,
the
yeah.
Happy Meal toy
Like, why wouldn't Burger King? They should go get Post Malone,
instantly.
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if I was
don't-
like Wendy's, I would post half my company to Post Malone.
But here's the other question, right? Is
Post Malone seems like a guy who eats a lot of fast food.
yeah.
When he drinks Bud Lights and smokes cigarettes all day. It's right
I'm
up his
sure
alley.
there's some quarter
It's on
pounders
brand.
going
Yeah.
down the hatch too. Here's my question though. Can anyone isn't there this weird thing that happens when you get to that level where it's really hard to sustain? It's almost like culture exists here, corporate America exists here. The two can't, like, who has really sustained a McDonald's deal type level and
Nike.
remained an important part of culture? I mean, a person who's remained an important influence on culture and been able to operate. Like, I'm wondering if that's maybe just not possible.
Well, no, I
What,
think
because you're
the
saying
problem
'cause
is
You're catering to the masses and still be cool.
I'm saying maybe culture, yeah, like the whole point of what influences culture is this cool factor that once you do, even if corporate America did understand culture, those two can't truly live together.
Well,
But
I think in the reality is here's what I think it is. I think rap culture has the most influence on young people in America. Okay,
Yep.
corporate America generally scared of rap,
Yeah.
and I think when like you get a guy like Travis Scott, sure he raps about drugs, but he's not like violent. He's pretty, like, you've never really heard him get in any trouble. So he kind of passes the smell test of corporate America. Like, oh, Nike can work with him, McDonald's. Like, as far as rappers go, is Travis Scott the safest bet besides like a Drake? I mean, even Drake got into trouble, right? Didn't he like throw champagne bottles or something?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I just wonder if that is a problem. Like, no one has been able to sustain that for 10 years.
Yeah.
I also
I
think
agree.
we're in a new era where you can still be cool and still do a McDonald's collab.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think that probably would have looked cheesy a decade ago.
I think you can, but I also did see a lot. I don't know that this means anything, and I don't want to jump on this, but there was a lot of backlash to Travis doing that deal as well.
Really?
From who?
There was just a lot of people, like, one of the really common things was there was a video of a really...
Who, the Burger King guy?
What?
The Burger
King
guy.
fan?
The king. The king.
Yeah. No, there was a video of a that went kind of viral. This was another trend of a chubby little guy eating the Travis Scott meal, and then it turns his voice to auto-tune. And all the comments were, this is the type of person that listens to Travis Scott. This is blah, blah, blah. This is the wackest shit ever. This deal's so dumb. Like, so once again, could very easily just be shit talking in the comments. But there is something where when people get to that level, it's hard to really maintain that same influence on culture. Like, I would say Travis had more than anyone for the last 5 years. You know, and I just wonder if there's something in the psyche of people that you can't, those things are separate.
That's fair.
I'm curious.
Yeah,
You might be right. Yeah.
Given how well this is working, you should kind of open the floodgates and do deals with everyone.
Yeah.
Hype
No,
House.
I mean, but
you should do it with
yeah,
everyone.
Well, Charlie,
Nah, because no, so I disagree with, because I could be wrong. I don't think Hype House can sell anything yet. Not yet.
But don't you think Charlie D'Amelio, she's drinking Dunkin' Donuts every day?
She has a Dunkin' Donuts special now.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So
Dunkin' Donuts? Where's the big dogs? They should be like, whoa. Nope.
I mean, I think she will be the outlier of the whole group that will like potentially be the one.
No, but if TikTok, if these kids have 40, 50, 60, 70 million followers and they had a Big Mac.
I know, but
why wouldn't kids not want a Big Mac?
Yeah, I just don't understand why when you're at McDonald's, why your influencer marketing program isn't
Think
way
about
bigger.
how cheap it would be to get these kids.
Yeah. And if they were just casually eating, like, I have my iced coffee, but it's McDonald's iced coffee instead of freaking Starbucks.
That's fine. You're talking about like
just product
overpaying
placement.
for an influencer
overpaying
program.
for product placement. I don't even think it's overpaying.
Yes.
I think it's cheap.
That's the point, is I think that what looks like overpaying actually isn't. And if you had McDonald's all over TikTok subtly, and then you had a Travis Scott deal, and then you had a whatever, it's like McDonald's is all of a sudden the most culturally relevant food ever to exist.
And the only way these brands can survive is if they get young people to stay on. All brands die because they lose the youth. So if you want to capture the youth, Travis Scott, great. That's a big splash. But you can get everyone else for so cheap. It makes, with unlimited budgets these guys have, it makes, like, instead of paying... I'm making this up, but they do this. If they paid X millions of dollars to be in like Fast and the Furious, spend $100,000 to be in every TikTok kid.
That's the point that I think is true.
Yeah,
I think that no one cares about Vin Diesel slurping down a Big Mac as much as they care about Addison Rae and.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't think you're gonna pull off what they did with Travis with any TikToks.
No, that's the big hit. You just be Fashion Nova, and then Cardi B is your Travis, you know. But other than that, you just see Fashion Nova everywhere.
Yeah, if everyone's posting McDonald's, you're relevant.
Because that's just subtly like it's just in the universe. You're just like, I'm hungry.
You're literally brainwashing kids. Like if they just see McDonald's and all these kids' videos,
fatten them up. Look, the healthy thing isn't going to work for you guys. So just go get the pigs. You know.
Yeah.
You're sitting on social media all day, shove a Big Mac in your face. Charlie D'Amelio does it.
Because it's similar to how we shit on TV advertising, how advertising on network TV is just stupid. Mm-hmm. It's the same as like product placement in movies where you're spending millions and millions of dollars to get in these A-list movies when this is so much cheaper and more effective.
And this is why I'll
agree.
say that I think that what we're witnessing right now is the same way that when you look at Amazon's total amount on versus retail, it's like, whoa, this isn't even close to what it could be or will be. I think that's the same when you look at advertising dollars that are going into influencers and that stuff. It's just still so low compared
It
to
is
the
nothing.
impact that it actually has.
Yeah, it's still nothing because like you'll hear people say that, oh my God, Kylie got paid, like Kim Kardashian got paid $250,000 for a post. Name one thing on television you can buy that's $250,000 that reaches Kim Kardashian's audience.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And
there's nothing on TV.
And I mean, the numbers the TikTok kids have, it's way more than a Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but the
agree.
problem with the TikTok, it's like it's 7 seconds. It just like you never see it again. It's like
You just make a deal where they have to do it for 3 straight days.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
You can
getting there.
figure
I
this
think
out.
we're crossing the threshold where these TikTokers are really, I mean, certain ones are really impacting people's buying habits.
If they
Kids.
impact the way kids style their hair,
Yeah.
they can impact much more
True.
than that.
If they can make you look like a frickin'
A wiggler.
a wiggler, if they can make you go
Poof
hunt
boy.
down that perfect dangly earring,
Yes.
they can make you eat a Big Mac.
What if I came in with the earring like Tim thought I did?
Yeah, Anand walked in. Did you hear that, D? Anand walked in with like a fancy
Yeah.
mask that has like a chain on it, and Tim thought he pierced his ear for his birthday. Which I'm down for. I mean, whatever. Live your life, you know? TikTok's hot. Get a little poof. You got good hair, you know?
Yeah, I could do a poof.
Yeah.
But a neon chain tangling from your ears is a big first step, you know? I think you start
Hey,
with like
it's
a stud and you work your way
37,
up.
I'll
man.
there.
go with the nose piercing.
You got 3 more years until you're D, you know? And you
I gotta get all
can't do
that.
that shit anymore. You're getting scammed
I
on
need more
Travis Scott
tattoos.
rugs that
I
you'll
need
never
more
see.
tattoos. That's what I need.
Yeah, you do. Okay. Let's talk about what's going on in the world, huh?
Sure.
Never thought I'd say this.
Oh,
Football, over.
Over.
NFL,
It's
over.
over.
No one even cares about it anymore. All this time we've been talking about, will they open? Won't they open? Concussions. I don't know. CTE. Is it too brutal? Oh, no one even cares.
about what?
Football.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Ratings are plummeting. No one cares. So crazy. Let's all get back to TikTok where we belong and just chill out.
I think the NFL's there.
Yeah.
What?
NFL's there.
And
No, the
Doubled?
opener was the ratings catastrophe.
Really?
Catastrophe, man.
16% down. 16.
Oh.
This is Pat Mahomes. Almost looks white, so he could, America
Yeah, no
should like
excuse.
that.
Super Bowl.
No excuse, yeah.
They're the Super Bowl champs and MVP.
Yeah,
Playing
Super
on
Bowl
Thursday
champs.
night.
It's the big game.
Sounds like cricket.
It's crazy. It's 16% against last year's opening. It just shows you, like, what I think the pandemic accelerated is it just accelerated the internet in so many ways
Yeah.
that I don't think people realize what else has happened.
And
Like,
there's also, an element, I think, if we weren't in this pandemic, everything shut down, 1,000%, I would have been at a sports bar at 5:30 watching kickoff.
Yeah.
I can't even do that.
I think we lost moments.
Yeah.
Like we lost events. We don't even think in events anymore. We think of
No.
like, oh, what's coming across our plate today? That's
Yeah.
what I think. I think that people like really found their gaming. They found their favorite social media accounts. They found their new digital life where there is no events anymore. And so an event is like, nah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't even think people it's kind of doom and gloom, but I find myself just having a tough time to get excited about anything. I'm just like,
See, man, I was
love the
depressed 2
NFL.
weeks ago, and now we're losing Anand, man.
like I watched, I
watched the second half, but normally on a normal football season, 0 chance of missing a play of the opener.
But think about how much your social life has just changed. Like there is no excitement in your life about
Yeah.
football. What'd you get? A few texts?
No,
Normally you would have got like parlor,
yeah, exactly.
noon. Well, see you there. Okay, I'm gonna go a little early. I'm gonna get
Right.
some cheese sticks.
Yes.
It would have been a whole thing.
And I would have made it my birthday party.
Yeah. We would have been at parlor, man, just having the time of
Yeah.
our lives. But now it's like, oh, it's just another thing. It's that, or you could check out a podcast, or you could whatever.
Or you could just sit and be
You could just
depressed.
sit and stare at a wall and cry a little.
yeah. The problem is there's just also like we already saw this. We've talked about it the last 3 years of this podcast. Sports in general, to me, have a very, very tough future in terms of at the scale they once were, where the entire country cared about sports.
Yeah.
sports will always exist. I think they'll still be a huge business. It's just not, to sit down for 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever it is and just look at your TV today sounds insane. It literally sounds insane.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that we've just changed. Like, I don't know, man. I think that in this relatively short amount of time, our habits have changed. Like when you are used to football season, you dedicate your Sunday, you're with your friends. It's way more than just a game that's on the screen.
For sure.
And I think when it's reduced to just a game on the screen, well, now what really is it? Do we love football because we love the whole thing of football? Or like if it's this screen versus that screen, does it really win? I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, and part of the excitement in sports, I mean, I have to say, the fans and the cheering and the players getting amped, running out of the locker room, that all matters.
Yeah. That's why like these shows, the old shows have laugh tracks and you want to feel a part of the momentum.
And then you see players taunting the crowd or getting hyped up or jumping into the stands.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy,
With that being said, I think a player can change all of that and create that excitement. So I haven't gotten, today's Sunday, I haven't gotten to watch any football this morning. I turned on the TV right before we started this, and I put on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing the New Orleans Saints. I watched Tom Brady as his first drive as a Buccaneer. He's 43 years old. He went all the way down the field, scored a touchdown, threw 2 amazing passes, screamed, punted the ball to the ground. Something like that, like you see like this anomaly of this old dude that just balls out, I think will pique people's interest. But that's like an exception to the rule. Like it's not likely you're going to have that at all times because like NBA is kind of struggling with that where it's like, cool, the Lakers are there. Maybe the Celtics get there, Lakers, Celtics, will that be interesting? But yeah, I mean, like if I'm in the Orlando bubble, maybe you have to go get like Travis Scott, like the most famous fans in the world and put them courtside.
Yeah.
You do need the energy because I've been watching the Lakers the entire playoffs and it's exciting to me because I'm a Laker fan, but it's not playoff energy. Yeah. You don't see the crowd. Yeah. You need the crowds. You need everyone cheering. Yeah. And when they hit a big shot, they look at the fans and everyone's going crazy. And
you feel the difference.
Yeah. I mean,
I think my honest opinion is I think that the same way like record companies switched to these like 360 deals and owning everything an artist does because there's not the same money in just selling albums. I think if the world continues on this way, the NFL, the NBA needs to think like they need to own these guys' media rights. All the stars need podcasts.
Right.
They need to be selling ads on their Instagrams. They need to be like, it needs to be a way bigger media play. And the actual game becomes a smaller part.
Yeah, because if you probably look at impressions, they're probably getting crazy impressions on the highlights.
Do you know how many impressions that they're getting from not their stuff?
Yes.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, like Tom Brady posted a 1-minute video. He has a great social media team, just like hyping.
Yeah, he is good.
Hyping up for the first game. He's playing Pop Star. It's just like incredible. And you could the point is you can also capture what happened in a 3-hour game in a 2-minute clip.
You really can. Like for someone like me, the chances of me watching a full game this season are like maybe 0. Super Bowl.
Yeah,
maybe.
I will watch highlights the whole way through.
If we're still shut down, no way you're just sitting.
Zero chance.
If it's not a social event.
0 chance. And I would say like I'm obviously pretty far fringe, but I'm like the fringe. Of course the core guy's going to watch it. But I just think like, look, if you're the NFL, not that I wouldn't hate on this same technique if they did it and I was sitting here recording the podcast, but like the only reason we know Tom Brady is because of you. The only reason we know all these people is you own football. You need to own everything as much as you can football related. You're giving away all the impressions on Tom Brady's actual page, all the house of highlights, all the everything. Everywhere everyone's talking about it, that's not yours. The only thing you have is something that's dwindling.
Yeah, it's a
dying. And if it wasn't for you, none of this exists.
It's a dying medium.
For example, I'll give you a great idea. The NFL on opening day should release a soundtrack. It should be a Travis Scott record, a Future record. Like go get the biggest teams, the biggest artists from those teams, Like,
But do a
Lil
deal with
Wayne drops-
Spotify. Do a
But
huge
I think-
Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Drama's
Do a-
point is like we're the last generation, and when I'm saying like my age, like mid to late 30s, that it was conditioned Sunday morning, you wake up and from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. you're watching football. There's no chance a 22-year-old views their Sunday like that.
22,
They
I
don't
don't
care.
think so.
No way.
I don't think so.
I mean, 16% down ratings. They don't care.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with the wokeness, which is why I hate when people say, "Do you really think people aren't watching because they have slogans on the end zone? Give me a break. You either like football or you don't."
Yeah, that's not it.
I mean,
Yeah.
they did boo.
I
To be
know.
fair, they did boo
Yeah,
the,
that was
the
going to
Texans
be
and
part
the
of our
Chiefs.
segment.
That's
whatever.
the craziest shit.
Let's-
Okay, we'll
let's
skip
save
over
that
it. We'll skip
one.
over it. But yeah, anyway, we'll see. But I think we've said it a million times. I think that anywhere where things looked like they might have been going, the pandemic sped it up 5 years.
Yeah, it accelerated
Yeah.
the trends that already existed. Sports were declining. It probably would have declined by like the NFL was actually up last year over year. Now it's down.
Yeah. I think the NFL, if you gave them 5 years, they would have figured this out. They would have had podcasts. They would have had whatever. But do it tomorrow is impossible. But I think that's what you're seeing. That's the best way I know to describe it. Because I do think this was coming anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's just accelerating the trends that already existed.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about what else is accelerating that's a little alarming. That we've also talked about, but now there's quite a bit of articles about it, and it's worth talking about again. The stock market. So stock market, for all intents and purposes, has just been on fire. V-shaped recovery, just a blip on the radar. This whole pandemic thing was breaking records, all that. The problem is it's only a handful. I mean, it's these top 5 stocks. It's a handful of stocks that are causing this insane success. And even though there's so much failure, and to me, this is also kind of related to what we just said about like speeding up, all these internet companies, obviously Amazon, Facebook, all these guys are crushing it. But there's so many people left in the dust that kind of get like just ignored,
Yep.
because you can just hide it behind record gains.
Yeah. The problem is S&P 500, which is like probably the most important index, 500 kind of biggest companies in America, is up 3% this year. It's all because of Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. Those are the big companies.
Do we know what
If you did-
that group is up this year?
Oh, those
I
guys
don't
are
know.
big.
It's got to be, it's
Double digits.
Give
They're
a
all
rough,
up
is
double
it
digits.
20%?
More.
Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there as if the overall stock market is only up a few percent, but those guys are up, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, and I
so
think
the companies are
that's-
Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google.
Yeah, and I think that really continues to be like the biggest challenge for the stock market is like, as long as everyone is buying those big like mutual funds, obviously have a lot of money. Your mom and pop investors, traditional mom and pop investors probably have a lot of money in that stock. And then you take all the high risk new stuff that all the Robinhood investors are investing in. It's wild stuff. So like I haven't really been investing in anything or trading anything. I've been kind of sitting tight. I said on the last episode, it was I was going to buy a put option on Peloton ahead of earnings. And the earnings came out after the last episode, and they absolutely crushed the earnings, revenues, profits, everything. The stock at the day I was trading the option was trading at like $88, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In the morning, I woke up to the stock trading at $98.
Mm-hmm.
98. So it just soared. My option was worth zero.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the day, the stock was trading at $84 and I was up money. And it just shows you, I mean, I don't do this every day. I've done it once in the last 2 months probably.
Mm-hmm.
That volatility is insane. People's mental conditions must be, it's so, you saw a stock go from 98 to 84 in the same day?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And if you also just think about the stock market gets priced for growth that you have as a company.
Mm-hmm.
So who's capturing the growth? It's 5 companies. incremental dollars that are coming in to spend goes to Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google. Do you think TV advertising is getting bigger or internet advertising is getting bigger? Do you think you're more likely to spend incremental dollars on Amazon or physical retail? So it makes sense that they're not only
all the money goes
they're
there,
capturing all the new growth and spend, and they're capturing it at scale. That's the staggering part, because it's not tens of billions, it's hundreds of billions across the 5 companies.
This makes me feel like we're going to need some universal basic income type things quick.
Yes.
It just feels like the internet, once again, it just sped everything up so fast, but these internet companies are going to be the only thing left. Because as they grow, they also take from the people who aren't growing.
Of course. 60% of our workforce of American labor is in small businesses, and we don't have a second stimulus. Think about that.
Yeah. Why don't we have a second stimulus? Just didn't get to it yet.
McConnell said it's probably not happening.
I mean, what is the reality of what's going on? It's funny because I feel like the same way you guys talked about the opioid crisis is worse than ever, but it's just not in the news. Like, I feel like...
How are people not screaming from the mountaintops that there needs to be a second stimulus?
I don't think they're being heard. Like, I think it's just getting drowned out.
No, it's crazy.
Right? I mean, it has to be there. It's like, it's to me, things just come and go in sort of like what we're focused on. The same way we were so focused on opioids. It was all you heard about for a while. Now it's worse than ever, but you hear about it never.
Yeah, there's a Thai restaurant down the street from where I live. Family packed up, left to Thailand.
Really?
So, I mean, how many stories are there? I mean, there's no business.
I mean, my personal trainer moved back to the UK.
There you go. Like, think about how many stories that are just not being told because they're not at scale.
Yeah.
I mean, they are at scale. The stories are at scale, but they're not like, there's no way to compile them.
Because all we're doing is saying stocks only go up and watching Davey Day Trader and like, yeah, fuck, I got my Robin Hood. Tim is over here.
Stocks always go up.
See? That's all you
It's
hear.
5 companies always go up.
It's more fun to talk about that.
Yeah. The other issue is that the people that have a voice have money, and the people that don't have a voice don't have money. And the problem is the only people talking about the regular people are AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren, those types of people. And unfortunately...
Have you even heard them recently? I haven't heard shit from any of them about...
They're talking.
I know, but you're not... Do you follow them all on social media?
Yeah, I follow them all on Twitter. They
Bernie Sanders is pretty fucking vocal. They're
just not good at... The problem is Trump is so good, and all Trump's people are so good, and Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and all that, like, they're so good at the internet and media and getting information out there that to read a Bernie Sanders tweet, even though it's very important and right, it's boring.
Yeah.
And you got to get to football highlights, you got to get to Charlie D'Amelio, and you're just going to try to really quick figure out what's going on with everyone else. And that boring old dude isn't going to do it for you.
And guess what? Crime is going up across all metropolitan cities.
Yeah.
We hear stories all the time. People are saying Soho, Tribeca, and New York aren't safe the way they used to be. We hear stories in West Hollywood of people getting robbed. This has nothing to do about looters and rioters. It has to do with there's no money in the system, and people resort to crime.
We need to hand out money like tomorrow to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, man. I can't help but feel like it's heading towards something very bad.
And Law and Order is not going to solve it. Sure, you're going to militarize the streets to stop a few robberies, but you're not solving the underlying problem.
Yeah.
Look what happened in Compton. 2 police officers basically got
they got ambushed.
Shot down, executed, right?
When?
Like
this weekend?
Last night. And why is that? Like, look, our citizens are armed. They have money. They have money and guns. They are ready to go to war. They will spend the money on the guns. They won't spend the money on anything else, but they'll buy the guns. So if you start bringing police aggressively or military, the citizens are going to go arm themselves, and this is going to be literally civil war on the streets. Yeah, the point of sure, we're not defund the police crowd. We're not those types. But the underlying problem is there a structural economic inequality that's not being solved, and it's just going to resort to crime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the perfect storm. It's everyone's scared. Yeah. So when you're scared already, not good for violence and all that stuff. Then you have no future. You don't know what's coming. It looks really bad. Then you feel like everyone feels like they've been done wrong for their own reasons. And there's this general hatred for cops and sort of authority. That's like the worst possible combination.
And most likely you're financially significantly worse than you were 6 months ago.
Yeah. And there's no hope of when it will turn around.
None.
Okay. Well, be safe out there, guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm going to get a couple extra guns before the election.
There's shortages. There's shortages of guns and ammunition. They're running out because the sales are so high.
All in on Smith and Weston?
I'm all in. Did you say what?
Is it a Weston?
Winston?
Smith and Weston?
Yeah, Smith and
Weston,
Winston.
right?
Weston.
There's no T, right?
Yeah, I said Weston.
No, it's
No,
Weston.
you said Weston.
You said Weston, like the hotel, idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, man.
That escalated.
Okay, see
I
that?
was just
Everyone's on
asking. I
edge.
was fucking
Everyone's on
stocking
fucking
up a
edge right
bar.
now, Pete. Not the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Fuck,
And if
my
you're going to
bad.
get a gun, get an AR-15.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go that route.
That's chump change
I think I
now.
need some
We gotta
heavier
go bigger.
artillery.
Bazooka.
Bazooka, Pete. This isn't Call of Duty. Okay.
Would be pretty cool, though.
Would be cool. Yeah.
Would be cool.
Okay, next up, I want to talk about two things. Two people. Reed Hastings, CEO of Netflix, and also Brian Toll.
Yep.
Good friend of ours. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I know everyone out there might be thinking, why the hell could these two people possibly be connected? I'll tell you why.
It's not wealth.
It's not wealth level, unfortunately. Okay, Reed Hastings has been doing a little bit of press lately, been doing some interviews and stuff like that, and a lot of what he's talking about is out in the news, and we'll talk about that. But the one big thing that really stuck out to me is that 2 million people are still receiving Netflix DVDs by the mail, like you would think that nobody has done since the early 2000s, and one of those people is Brian Toll.
Yes. And the reason being, because I've asked him this question, is he said the selection on DVD is much wider because the studios aren't concerned with DVD distribution. So you're able to get movies that you can't get.
But what sort of film connoisseur has any problem in today's day and age with selection? What the fuck is he getting?
Also, who has a DVD player?
Brian Toll.
If you have a
Brian Toll and 2 million other
if you
people.
have like a PlayStation, you have
It's all
DVD,
unclear.
right?
Yeah, but I know Brian Toll has a PlayStation.
I had an Xbox that I used.
I
He's a
bet
bigger
you he
player.
has a PlayStation.
You think?
I bet you he has a PlayStation.
Can we get a follow-up on
But
this?
who has a problem? He has Amazon, Hulu. He has all the things. What movies is he getting that you just can't find anywhere on streaming?
There was Matrix Reloaded. You got to get it on Netflix apparently.
Gosh.
$300 million they still did in DVD last year. How crazy is that?
That is insane.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it if it's $300 million.
That is so crazy. Did he have any explanation of why Reed, or he just mentioned it?
No, so I think it was part of, because of all the interviews he's doing, this question came up and, someone looked up the SEC filing and it showed that they still do $300 million on DVDs. Wow. And he's like, obviously if customers want it, what can you do? $300 million is just too much money.
It's too much money. I agree. Okay. And then the other thing that he said that I thought was really interesting was he's not a big fan of remote working.
No.
Which I'm surprised because Netflix has a very make your own hours sort of culture. Okay, why?
I think what creative businesses are realizing that collaboration in creative businesses really, really matter. And that was kind of his whole takeaway. He's like, it's just, we're losing that creative energy. I think work from home is bad for creative businesses. Any business that has to manufacture anything, even if it's not creative, even if you're making widgets, I think being in person matters. And then I think, lastly, anyone that is really focused on bringing up young talent in their business. So if you take a young person and start them at work from home, I don't even see how they get promoted, how they grow in the company. Yeah. So in a company like Netflix, which probably has a lot of young talent that they've kind of nurtured and developed, plus they're a creative company, I think it's tough. For a software company, or if it's a salesperson or customer service, I get it. Work from home is amazing.
I also think it always has to be a blend. Work from home cannot be permanent. It could be a portion of the day, portion of the week.
I just think there's certain jobs.
I
think if you're like coding.
Coding, sure, but it's more if the machine's already been built and you're just maintaining it. So Facebook, the machine's been built. Google, the machine's been built. They can work from home.
Yeah.
The incremental value a Facebook engineer has on the company is marginal.
Yeah.
Whereas the incremental value a person in a smaller company has is way bigger.
Yeah.
So
I just think you can outsource like you're like updating your site and like those sort of tasks. I think you can totally outsource.
I also think just talking with friends, I think the first part of the pandemic, people were like, oh yeah, we can figure this out. And now across the board, everyone's saying productivity is down.
I'll tell you what I'm sick of.
Industries.
Fucking video calls for everything.
Yeah.
Like we used to, I get it. There's the occasional like this, we need to be face to face. But now everyone video calls literally everything.
Yeah.
Phone
I just
calls
don't
are
even
dead
turn
for
my
me.
camera on anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start doing that.
Phone
calls have
I
died
don't
for
keep
me.
my camera on. I don't care.
I do text or video call. That's all I get offered. And I'm sick of it.
So why don't you just turn the video off?
I'm going to start.
You should.
Yeah, I'm done with this.
I was in a meeting with people at 5-4 the other day, and they were like, why don't you have your video on? I was like, I'm done with video.
done with video.
Told them.
Okay.
Not for me.
So, I mean, this is interesting because the same way that we talked about everything accelerating everything, as advocates, especially on it, for remote work, do you think this is exposed? Maybe it's not quite.
Yeah, I think this is too dramatic of a plunge into work from home. And in the beginning, I think people were on edge. Everyone was kind of battling. There's so much uncertainty, so everyone was working hard. Now everyone just kind of took their guards off. And I think across the board, companies are just less productive. JP Morgan in New York recalled the workforce to the office.
Yeah, I saw that. And Trump gave him a give him a hoorah. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I think the other issue is that's not is being discussed on this topic right now is I think people will be content with keeping a business owner will be fine with keeping an office and having some blend. Like Reed Hastings said, he thinks a more palatable situation for his company is work in the office 4 days a week, 1 day a week, you work from home. The problem, for Netflix, it's irrelevant. They're multi-billion dollar, hundreds of billions of dollars a company. They have tons of cash. For us, that makes no sense. I have to pay for full rent still.
Yeah.
And keep some sort of
All this is doing is like, okay, we went from a 5-day work week to a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
But I still got to pay the rent.
You still pay everything the same.
Everything's the same. You pay salaries. It should be okay. You don't show up, you don't get paid.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I think the two places you could cut costs are you could have a 4-day work week and pay accordingly. And I also think you could just have 50% of the office space and sort of rotate out who comes in on what days.
Yeah.
You could have creative day. You could have.
Yeah, because I just don't see how I'd be okay with a 4-day work week, but keep all my same rent. That's so stupid.
And
of me.
parking, everything.
No.
It's ridiculous.
No chance. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. This is an interesting one. Well, I'm really curious how this evolves over the next couple of years, really.
Yeah, it's going to take time.
Okay, next up, not football isn't the only just good old-fashioned regular piece of America that is over. Grocery stores are as well.
Yep.
So once again, why leave your house when some nice young man or woman can come deliver whatever you want on your front doorstep? At least that is what the CEO of Whole Foods is forecasting.
And so we talked about this last week about how I strongly felt grocery stores is going to be one of the things that people are not going back to. I will caveat it by I think Whole Foods customers are not coming back for sure. And this is the Whole Foods CEO speaking. And I think with their integration with Amazon, who their customer are, mainly metropolitan urban customers, probably a lot more tech savvy. I agree with the Whole Foods. I don't know what the makeup looks like of a suburban shopper that doesn't, frequent Whole Food as much. Like a person that goes to Vaughn's, Ralph's, Walmart,
Kroger's.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like
I couldn't see my
think-
parents using Instacart.
No, and I
So
think
have they been
They've been going.
Walmart? They wouldn't use Walmart. Free shipping, free everything. 2-hour delivery.
It's possible. I don't
No,
know. I'd have to ask, but they don't. It's so ingrained in like it's like football. Like Sunday, you go to the grocery store. That's what you do, and you plan your week.
Yeah.
You plan what you're going to eat. You pick it out.
Yeah, I think that's something in metropolitan cities. We talked about this last week. Metropolitan cities, you'll see an acceleration of people using Instacart, Amazon for groceries, whatnot. There's a big reason because it's a pain in the ass in West Hollywood to drive and go to Whole Foods, Ralph's.
Yeah.
Parking sucks. You're driving around looking for a spot. You're dealing with red lights.
I
dealing
can't
with
imagine
traffic.
New York. I cannot imagine how people even get groceries in New York without Instacart.
Right.
Like I
You
can't
have-
picture it.
You have to
in
carry it.
In the suburbs, it's
Ridiculous.
so easy. It's an activity.
Yeah.
Like similar to your parents, our parents, that they love going to Ralph's.
Yeah.
Killing an hour and a half.
And
Go
you
to
plan your
Costco.
week, and you
Yeah.
can make sure you get. Oh, I got some great tomatoes.
And I know my mom
You-
wants to touch and feel the fruit and
yeah,
veggies.
they're ripe and clean, and
And you run into people. It's social.
And
Yeah.
and we talked about how when we were kids, it was like a thing to do to get out of the house.
yeah. You see the gossip magazines.
Walk
You know, I
around.
Oh
think
my God, that Angelina Jolie. I can't believe
that Brad with his 2-bit whore of a new girlfriend. How dare he take her to the chateau?
who has a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's more bubble talk that the acceleration is happening as quickly as we think, and that in the suburbs, when parking's not an issue, driving. I mean, my dad, the other day, I called him. My mom was over at D's, and I'm like, "What'd you do?" And he's like, "I just went to Subway and grabbed a sandwich."
Yeah. And
I
probably
was
loved
like,
it.
"What are you doing?
Yeah.
Order Postmates."
No. Yeah, I do. I agree. I
And
agree.
he's
I
like,
think-
"Parking's great at the Subway I go to." I was like, "Okay, have
yeah,
fun."
I think we discount that. I agree.
that killed, like that trip killed probably 40 minutes for my dad.
Yeah, it's probably a blast. Got out of the house, picked out his own sandwich,
Yeah, I
controlled his
think
own destiny.
Well, I'm gonna. Well, the question is so the suburban person that is 30, are they going to continue doing everything like that? Because the 30-year-old in the suburbs is hip to what's going on.
Here's my only question. Not to be too like out there here, but like as humans, we like hanging out with people. And I think when we talk about all this like optimization, like eventually everything will be optimized. Like there's like a natural want to go
Yeah.
be around people. And like if you're older, like go to Subway. Like because
Yes.
like you have a nice conversation with the gentleman behind the register
Right.
and like there's an urge to do that. I don't think just because it's more optimal to sit at home and have everything delivered to you while you sit on the couch and freaking day trade. I think that somewhere that has to give, and people don't consider that.
Yeah, especially I think everyone realized, even the most kind of introverted person is probably realizing how much socializing was part of their life.
Me,
Yeah.
I always skip invites. You guys are always out. All my friends, I'm always the last one to come. I miss it big time.
Right?
You know,
Go grocery shopping.
I think I'm going to.
He goes to
I
Staples.
go to Staples.
Jesus Christ, who goes
Yeah.
to Staples?
But there's
What do you
nobody
even
at
get at Staples?
That's where I get
There's
my little
nobody-
my little bookmarks and my little highlighter. And
That's the introverted version of the grocery market. There's no one at a
I
Staples.
strike up a conversation with the lady behind the register.
If
there
you want to
anybody
go
else?
social
No, nobody
in,
there. I
in
don't know how
LA,
Staples is in business. It's a warehouse
Yeah.
with no one.
Yes.
Nobody's there.
Oh my god.
if you
What were you
want
saying?
if you want a social experience, go to Whole Foods on 3rd and Fairfax.
That's
That is
insane.
a social experience.
Well, here's the problem.
And
I
you
don't
run
want
into
to
at
be
least
around
3
people.
people you know.
That's the problem, though. I don't want to come in contact with people.
Staples is fit.
Like, meaning I'm still just sketched out enough about getting sick that I don't want to. If I did, like, like I'm getting invited to these little things, but I'm in this weird spot, but I do really miss it. Like I find myself like thinking about just our random Fridays, as if it was the Super Bowl. Like it's like, wow, how fun that used to be. And like, what?
Yeah.
It's literally, a night at Delilah for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I agree. So even the most introverted people are like, whoa, I need some,
Yes.
like I don't actually want to sit at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, you're thriving right now.
Maybe it's the 2 kids.
How's the sleeping going since last week?
It's been great.
Yeah, you caught up?
Caught up. I took a serious nap yesterday too. I realized I need 8 hours and a nap.
Wow. You went from 8 hours to 8 hours and a nap?
Holy shit.
I'll tell you what, when I had that little, I just took it off today because I was getting a little dry skin here, but
Whoop, whoop.
my little whoop. That's the one thing I noticed more than anything was I thought I was sleeping 8 hours a night and I wasn't. I was sleeping.
That's why I need a nap. I'm probably not really
6:45.
sleeping 8.
No, I agree. Maybe get yourself a whoop or maybe an Oura ring like the NBA.
But the whoop is not going to find me time.
No. The whoop will just give you a realistic feedback on how much are you really sleeping. Maybe you're sleeping 10 hours. Seems possible.
It is
Okay.
possible.
That being said, it's time for our new weekly segment, Sleep or
Yes.
Chill, which is brought to you by Holistic Wellness. So, I mean, we're legit now. Sponsored segments, things are looking good. Holistic Wellness, if you haven't seen it, is this CBD brand that come in these single serve stir sticks. They're just these little plastic sticks that it has a powder in it. You pop off the top, stir it in your drink, you have a little CBD drink. So
It's great. I
you wanna
actually,
chill out.
last week, I ran every single day last week pre-fire. And I had the Recover one at home and I took it. I was very relaxed right after.
Did it work? Helped you get that nap off?
Yeah. And it's
Helped you get that ninth hour?
Well, I like ginger, and they had ginger and turmeric in it. And those are such good healing things for my body.
Look at you, man. Look at you. Just
Showing
need
his
natural
age.
healing.
Turmeric.
You turn 40 and all of a sudden you need natural healing for your
Yeah,
body.
bro. I'm trying to live
Okay.
long.
I get it. Here's to 40 more, right?
Not 41.
No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Turmeric won't get you that far. Okay, so what we do is each week we talk about who needs to sleep and who needs to chill. Anand, you want to go first? Who needs to sleep this week?
Who needs to sleep? The fans of the Kansas City Chiefs who showed up Thursday night and booed both the Texans and the Chiefs because they were arm in arm for the national anthem.
I mean, mind-boggling.
What's that?
All they did, just so I'm correct, because I once again just saw it on House of Highlights, was lined up on the field and linked arms.
Yes.
That's it.
One guy knelt, but they're not booing for the one guy.
So they just don't like unity.
No, unity
They don't
is
like
not
people
good.
getting
They don't
along.
want anyone potentially voicing a social justice message, which they weren't even doing. It was more just like, hey, we're all in this together. There was no and it's not like they had, put a fist in the air or did anything disrespectful.
That just proves
It's just racism.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just proves it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're kneeling, doesn't matter if you're fisting, doesn't matter what you're doing, unless you shut up and dribble.
You know what
Arm
I
in
would
arm.
do? You know what I would do? If I ran a stadium, I did the screen, I would put on this sign at the beginning when they're all standing and said, if you are booing, that means you hate black people.
I also
So
just
you'd
want
probably get even more booze.
think about if you're
You'd probably be like the cheer, like the segments that go
so
on.
17,000 people showed up. It was I don't know how many of the 17,000 people were booing, but it was enough for us to hear it on television.
Yeah.
Why would you buy a ticket, show up to a stadium for a team that you clearly love? Because both teams did it. So even if you're a Texans fan or a Chiefs fan, and boo them before they play.
Because you're a miserable fucking person.
I just don't even get the logic. If you're that racist, sit home and don't watch black people play sports.
I think you're just miserable, man. I think people are just miserable. And I think they've been taught by someone very influential that the way to make it through the world is to divide, tear people down, make fun of them. I think it's really, to me, that's the impact that it shows. You just don't like unity anymore. You don't like people you don't like it anymore.
So,
You're like, these two teams should fucking hate each other. If you're a different color, you should, I don't know about all this arm lock and
So
shit.
if you're the guy that's booing, and if any of our listeners are standing with the booers, how do you justify cheering for the touchdown? So you just booed them for standing together with another team, arm in arm.
Because it's your team. And because they're shutting up and getting touchdowns, not doing all this huggy-wuggy shit.
I'm okay if they only cheer for white touchdowns.
Imagine.
It must be
Imagine.
quiet most of the
I don't
day.
know I don't think there was a white touchdown. Like, I know Kelsey had a
no,
touchdown.
that'd be
Travis
crickets.
Kelsey.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's pretty alarming. I think also like with the anniversary of 9/11, and we're all old enough, not Peter Tim, but to remember and everyone talks about it, so short but sweet. Like that feeling, it's like as scary as that was, and you felt like holy shit, like there's war going on our own soil. It also felt so comforting that everyone was on the same page.
Oh my God. Watch the clips from Major League Baseball. They were the first sport to come back post 9/11.
Yep.
It literally gives you goosebumps.
Wasn't there a guy, somebody hit a home run or something?
Mike. So the New York Mets were playing the Braves. The New York team was the first team to come back post 9/11. It was in New York City. A lot of firefighters in the building, a lot of people whose family died in the towers.
Yeah.
And there was a tie game. Mike Piazza hits a home run. The New York Mets win. And like, there's so many stories. Like, we can smile again.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Think about that, and think about now, guys literally just locking arms. You're gonna boo them. It's crazy.
And people back then, like post 9/11, people running out of the stadiums with the American flag, and everyone's going crazy. Like, we're all in this country together.
I remember even in small town Ohio, man, it was American flags everywhere. It was like, it's so weird because you felt so not safe, but at the same time you felt so safe, like instantly. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy. And here's the crazy thing. Not that I would ever, not even alluding to wishing this, but even if something like that happened again, I don't think that would bring the country together.
No, it would divide it in ways we couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
If a foreign entity came to the country, especially with a religious tint, if that was what it was,
can you imagine?
The country would burn.
Yep. Okay. Well, I would say take a nap.
Go to sleep.
Shit. All right. D, who's your sleep?
Mine is every TikTok user. It's over. This is it.
It's not over, man.
We're 2 days away from TikTok getting shut down.
No.
On September 15th. On September 16th, you will wake up and we will be a part of a new era of America where Chinese companies are not taking over our data.
China sent us a nasty gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad people dancing all day.
Bad dancing.
Bad dancing.
They sent us a virus and bad dancing.
I mean,
no, man, it's not going. They're going to keep it.
It's gone forever.
All and the algorithm's not coming. Even in a sale, they're saying. So what's the point of TikTok if you can't have the algorithm?
Nothing.
Because it breaks every privacy rule.
Reels sucks ass. Yeah. Reels is the exact app minus the algorithm. Sucks.
Yeah. Reels is terrible.
I knew it'd be shit.
Pete called it.
Oh yeah. You called it. No one else did.
Stradamus over here. Nope. Okay. Well, listen, I'm still holding it strong. I think what's right will prevail, and we will still be dancing and puffing our hair up in the front.
Okay.
Let the dangly earrings live. My sleep. This is a little bit repetitive. My sleep is everyone who still supports the leadership of Donald Trump after, among many other things, this Bob Woodward tape and interview. It is insane. Over the weekend, I heard some of the recordings. It's just like you're blatantly saying in the face of everyone that you knew one thing, you handled it totally differently. He was saying it's not only old people, we're seeing young people can definitely get it. It's definitely bad.
It's through the air.
This thing's through the air.
Let me tell you, Bob, it's through the air.
And it's like you're not.
It's not like you just can't touch things.
Yeah.
This guy's a real dumbass.
Real dumbass. Like just a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like it's just not how you run. It's not how you run a company. Like if we did that in our office and we said, look, we know that blah, blah, blah. We know that there's mold in the office. But we don't want anyone to panic. We're going to have everyone just come on in and we're going to fix it behind the scenes slowly. We are screwed. Right? It's over for us.
We wouldn't be able to sleep well at night knowing that.
Well, not to mention someone gets sick, you're done. It's done, right? We're sued, it's done. That's a small company in the grand scheme of things, especially when you're talking about running the fucking country. But everyone's like, there's a large group of people that are like, yeah, well, he didn't want to cause panic. And I'm glad I didn't panic.
Yeah.
So
because 200,000 people now are dead.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So anyway, that's my sleep. Go to sleep. Just go to sleep until December.
That's a great
And I'll
idea.
tell you what, man, he's going hard on the rigged election shit. This shit's going to get wild. He just did another rally where he was like, they sent out 80 million ballots. It's rigged.
Yeah.
Okay. Who needs to chill?
Who needs to chill? I think Jared Kushner.
Oh.
He just set up his father-in-law with possibly the worst interview.
Sure did. He
and
sure
his
did.
extension to what you just talked about. Like, who approved? I can't imagine anyone would say it's a good idea to go sit with one of the best investigative journalists of all time, who's taken down another president and who has openly criticized you. And in an era where everyone wants to take down Trump, especially the media, because of how poorly he treats them.
Yep.
Why would Kushner think this is a good idea?
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing. It's so crazy. I don't know. But whatever, he's an idiot and he's going to jail. So all good. D, who's your chill?
Mine is keeping up with the Kardashians, the entire family.
Seems like they chilled.
This is their last season of the Kardashians. And I would like for them to gracefully exit from all media.
Oh my God. I mean, you could not talk about something more not likely. I mean,
Why?
all I saw over the weekend was freaking Courtney or whichever one, Courtney, hanging out with the TikTokers. They're at Nobu, Malibu. They've fully adopted
She's
them in.
20 years older?
Yes. They're ready. It could literally be her daughter. I mean, easily.
My what I don't understand is, and I understand money. So I would assume Kim and Kanye don't need Keeping Up with the Kardashians. No. Kylie Jenner does not need Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
The rumor was Kim and Kylie said we're not doing it anymore, and that's why.
Kylie doesn't need it.
Both of the Kim and Kanye don't need it. Kylie doesn't need it. So those two can easily just exit from public life and be rich forever.
Yeah.
Right?
I wonder what Scott Disick's thinking.
I always loved him on that show.
I'm just saying, I love him, but those checks for the seasons were probably nice.
I think he's just his clothing line is doing well. That's what we hear.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's nothing like an easy TV reality money when you're making.
I'm sure that mattered. Even if he's just buying watches and cars with it and stuff, I'm sure it matters.
Yeah.
All checks matter.
All checks do matter. The families. I mean, I'm not worried about anyone in the family though.
No.
You're not worried about Scott Disick?
Oh, no, I'm not worried about Scott. They got so much money. Scott's such a key part. Plus, at this point, the amount of blackmail you have, those guys aren't going nowhere. You know what I mean?
I would be concerned for a Courtney or Khloe because they live probably very, very expensive lives. And to not get that TV money, because their relevance is going to dwindle quick, right? Without the show.
But Tristan Thompson's still with Khloe, right?
Is he?
They are back together.
I mean, he's made $250 million.
Right.
Okay, but
plus
Scott
Chris,
Disick,
you can live in one of the family houses.
And Kylie and Kim can bail out they're the Fed.
Here's your yearly G-Wagon.
They're the Federal Reserve for the Kardashians.
Here's a G-Wagon.
Here's a stimulus. Listen, I know it's been a little tough since the show went off. We're going to do a family stimulus. Everyone sign up.
Everyone gets a G-Wagon, 2 Chanel bags.
Yeah, a little SBA loan. It's totally fine. I agree. I think they're fine. I mean, you see them cozying up with the young TikTokers. They're not going nowhere. That family's fortune is from staying relevant.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it by any means necessary.
Agreed.
Okay.
I still want them to chill.
Yeah, that's fine. I agree. It'd be nice. Anna, we already did your chill. Did we do your chill?
Yeah, we did my chill.
Yeah. Okay. My chill is, I didn't go too deep in this for obvious reasons, but we didn't talk about it, I don't think, unless you talked about it on that episode I missed. But the Netflix show Cuties. Mm-hmm. You heard about it?
Yep.
I heard that it's
a lot of rage.
A lot of rage. What is it exactly?
Well, so I've only watched the trailer, because it seems a little creepy and everything I heard, it seems a little Epstein-y, but it looks like it's about a young Muslim girl who is very sheltered and then finds a group of dancers and just girls that are sort of letting loose. And she's like, you know what? I want to be one of these girls. And she's sort of torn, that old story, right? The problem is the girls are 9. They're not, if they were 16, 17, Euphoria even feels a little weird, but at least they're high school, junior, seniors. You know, it's like, okay. These girls are literally like 9 years old. And they're like twerking and stuff.
Is
in
it
short shorts.
reality or it's...
No, it's a scripted show.
They've gotten so much backlash.
Yeah.
And it's the top...
So I don't look, I mean, the problem is these little girls twerking in belly shirts and short shorts. I don't know. I get it. I understand the important message. I understand youth today are faced with a sexualized world, but I just don't know that you need to put 9-year-olds in belly shirts.
I agree.
I don't know. I'm a little, either age it up or don't talk about it. I don't know. So anyway, I just think it needs to chill. Like I haven't watched it. Just chill.
Okay.
Just maybe cover up the belly. No cleavage on an 8-year-old, please.
Please.
Ridiculous.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Holistic Wellness. Go check it out. It's Holistic Wellness, which is HOLISTIK, emphasis on the stick, wellness.com. And of course, we have a promo code for you. You can use the code DEALS, which is DEE, which I'm still annoyed about, LS DEALS for 25% off any of their sticks. Get yourself a stick.
Yeah. Use my stick.
Chill out. Get sticked.
Okay, bro.
Use D stick.
Whoa.
Chill out.
Use D.
Oh, too much?
A little too much.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, back into it. I'm wondering, so I have pretty good airways, pretty strong lungs, don't suffer from many like allergy type problems. D, I know you in particular can't exactly say the same. You're not doing bad, but you're on the fringe of, some airway problems.
Yes.
Even me, with my strong Ohio hillbilly airways, is having a bit of a tough time. I'm noticing a little extra runny nose, a little extra congestion. I'm a little sneezy. And that's because for the last 4 days, it's been like a cloud of haze over the whole city from these fires. So I'm just wondering how you're doing.
I actually, when I go outside, even for 30 minutes, and I come back inside, I am visibly like irritated with either watery eyes, sniffles, sneezing, kind of almost asthma-like feelings. It's pretty crazy. So I went and looked up the air quality just in the city of LA. So like under 100 would be considered okay. 50 to 100 is still like not great, but like whatever, you can function. 100 to 150 is considered high risk for children and people with asthma. Anything over 150 starts getting crazy. In LA County this weekend, it was like 166, 176. Some places it was over 200, depending on where you were. In places like Portland, I think it was 299.
Sheesh.
So, I mean, think about it. Have you seen blue skies or sun in 5 days in LA? Like you haven't.
Do we have any visibility of when this is ending?
I mean,
because I don't hear anything.
Containment looks low. I looked at it this morning and it said like the closest fire to us is only 10% contained.
Damn, it's right now on the weather app, it says 161.
Yeah, that's not good.
So so that means like if you have asthma, if you're a kid, like you can just get real jammed up. You could have asthma attacks. Like what does that mean for me? Like can I go work out outside?
So I think it obviously people react differently to the situation, but like if this was to go on for weeks and you kept inhaling it, I'm sure it has some sort of long-term effect.
Yeah.
No, it's scary. Especially because, I mean, we have no gyms open, so you have to work out outside.
I know, that's the pickle we're in. Even like going to eat outside, like over the weekend, I was like, I don't know, do we want to sit outside for 2 hours? And I don't know.
Why would anyone want to
What am I
sit
supposed to do?
outside in this and like inhale it?
Then you're going to prime your lungs to just be garbage, catch the Rona and check out early?
Exactly. California, the West Coast is really having a hard time.
Hard time.
Trump must love it.
Trump
Yeah.
loves it.
He's coming.
Okay.
He's coming here.
He's in
California
Vegas
fires.
right now.
He's coming
Wow.
to California.
Mask up, Donald.
He'll start talking shit to everyone.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about, speaking of election and that stuff, what's the update on good old Michael Bloomberg? I know he sunk a lot of money into his campaign and then, bailed out, just wasn't quite ready for the smoke. What's he up to now? Is he back in Biden, obviously, or?
Yeah, everyone was kind of like, what is Bloomberg going to do? And I actually read an article over the weekend that said if Bloomberg really wants to help, he should back Biden in Florida, because apparently the statistics, the models that everyone are building, Trump can't win without Florida. If Trump doesn't win Florida, it doesn't look like he has any chance to get enough electoral votes. Mm-hmm. So what everyone is saying is, let's focus all our energy on Florida, win that state. Obama did win Florida twice. So it's like, it is doable. Mm-hmm. So Mike Bloomberg just plopped $100 million on Biden. Trump doesn't have any money. He can't fight this race without money. Trump's fighting with his fingers. If Bloomberg gives 100, it's a week out and the polls are close, he might give 500.
Yeah, that's the thing where Twitter, social media, the way most of us consume news, isn't representative of how the electorate consumes. Mm-hmm. So the electorate in Florida watches TV. TV heads don't convert for 25-year-olds, but a 55-year-old that's showing up to the polls is watching Chicago Fire, PD, whatever the fuck the show is. Totally. Like, Trump did what?
Yeah.
Like, Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe it is.
Totally. Man, this guy is just burning money though, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
how much did this? Oh, it's like $50 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
What does he care? He should spend $5 billion.
I mean, how much did this election cost him, I wonder, in the last 12 months?
$1 billion, easy.
Yeah. I mean, but for him,
if he got 50, who the fuck cares? I guess.
I mean, if he
that's a difference. If Bloomberg or Steve Ballmer spent $2 billion on the Clippers and is having the time of his life.
I know, man.
Bloomberg went and tried to be president, got run through the mud by Donald Trump, Mini Mike.
That's why if I'm Bloomberg, I would, one last hurrah, make sure Donald Trump loses and you have the last laugh. I'm richer and you're not president anymore.
But you're taller.
I wonder what the rest of, true. I wonder what the rest of Trump's life is going to be like. Because even like on a personal level, like, all these guys
with him.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's billionaires that love him now because he's in office.
Yeah.
But I think if he's not in office, no one's going to want that picture at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump post-presidency.
Thiel
I think they all abandoned him because he's not in power.
Peter Thiel might be the guy. I mean, Peter Thiel, what is this? Peter Thiel is hanging out with like legitimate racists?
Yes.
Like known racists?
Yes. Having
dinner and texting them, it was so great meeting you?
Yes. That's
is
exactly.
Peter Thiel a fucking genius racist?
Yeah, he is. This is why I hate Peter Thiel. I never liked this guy. He's because he's so smart, he's so successful, and he's so manipulative. This MAGA movement is right in line with his white nationalistic pride.
I mean, this guy might be a psycho. That shit he did to Gawker or whatever, he might be really fucking crazy.
Yes.
And that's scary because he's super smart. He has a lot of money.
He's still on the board of Facebook.
Yeah.
Is he white?
Peter Thiel, yeah, he's white.
Like, I know he looks white, but doesn't he look kind of, he's part robot or something?
He's gay.
Well, I don't think that changes your facial structure.
I actually think people like Peter Thiel and the way they operate, they just feel like they're so much smarter than the rest of us that they're playing chess while we're all a bunch of dummies playing checkers.
I can't keep hearing Tim laugh. Oh my God. I totally agree.
So
but that doesn't have to carry over to like white people though.
But
it's just you be a genius and you look down on everyone. It just makes me nervous when someone with this much power and influence and money has these possibly has these beliefs.
Yeah, because the fact that this one avowed white nationalist privately speculated that Thiel's money and influence could have made him our George Soros. Like, he's going to power white nationalistic pride back to the forefront.
That's scary, man. Because all you need is a couple little algorithm tweaks and a couple little...
Yeah, and then he's involved with Palantir. Impact. I mean, like, he's involved in Palantir and Facebook. I mean, those are two... You can't have a guy like that involved with those types of businesses.
The other thing that sucks is he's uncancelable because we don't even understand what the fuck he does.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna cancel?
Yeah, you have no idea what to cancel.
Yeah, go ahead. Start.
Cancel Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, even the government doesn't know how to punish these guys.
No way. They're scary. They're
All right,
bad.
well, that's
bad hombre. He's a bad
hombre. All right. Well, we'll leave you with that. That's all we got. We got some shout outs.
Yeah.
We got some shout outs.
We got one from Celine Kong to her husband, Paul Kamantig. I think if I pronounce it correctly. His birthday is on September 12th. He turned 29 years old. And happy birthday. Anand's birthday, if you didn't notice, was on September 11th.
Yep.
Yeah. Big 37.
Big 37. You know, he got that ear pierced. He's ready to party.
Yeah.
going through a slight depression right now, but he'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll come around.
He'll come around.
I'm in the market for some tattoos.
He's in the market for a couple new tattoos.
What are you
Spice
gonna
things
get?
up a little. I think I'm going to get some new tattoos
I have some
too.
things. I really want Dr. Wu, but I don't think I'm rich enough or famous enough.
Why?
You might be able to do that.
You can get that.
If you're buying restoration hardware or coffee tables, apparently
You should get a face tat.
Just a neck tat.
I mean, I think that I was
should get
thinking the
the
other day,
teardrop.
I think that's a good way to spice up quarantine.
Yeah.
You know, because at least you got something new,
Yeah.
something to look forward to. I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. Plus, you're not out in the sun anyway. It's a good time. Get tatted up. Maybe come out of quarantine with a full sleeve
I wouldn't mind.
and a neck tat.
Neck. I think I need to
Get EBITDA.
make a little more money because I remember Puff Daddy always said you don't get a neck or face tat until you're rich enough where nothing else matters.
True. Okay.
That's your
It's a good goal.
That's your person you're listening to advice from on
Yeah,
neck
well,
tats.
In the context of neck and face tats, yes.
This is Neck Tat Mentor.
If I have a neck tat or face tat, then you know I made a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. So keep that in mind, listeners. When Anand strolls in here with a neck tat,
Yeah.
you know he just hit a lick. Okay. All right. Well, shit. That's what we got. Everyone have a great start of your week.
And we got big news.
Do we?
We got a huge new Twitter handle.
We got a new Twitter
my gosh,
handle.
Tim finally. Looks like Tim.
There it
Pete.
is.
No, actually, Pete, you didn't do this. Did
I
you?
didn't do a goddamn thing.
Somebody overheard
But-
us talking about it on the pod. Someone
Correct.
very powerful and influential, and said, "You know what? Chill out. I got you."
I think Riley and Kate hooked us up.
Yes.
Two young
That's what it was.
ladies that scored it for us. So thank you.
Incredible work by them. So all the Twitter people that said, congrats, Pete, and I deserve a raise for it. Though I will take the raise, I
You
did
won't
nothing.
take the congrats.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, there it is. Group chat on Twitter. Give us a round of applause, Tim. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's
You
it.
really like that function, huh?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, hit us up on Twitter, group chat. Hit us up on Instagram, group chat pod. Hit us up on Twitch. Every Thursday, we're there. We're live streaming. You want to see group chat live in action? You want to maybe ask some questions in the chat and maybe get a live response.
We're there for behind closed doors, too.
Behind closed doors as well at group chat
Me
pod.
and Peter crushing that.
That's good stuff. Okay. And then Melrose Street Journal is where you catch all of our articles, where you subscribe to our newsletter. And as always, if you really, really love us, rate and review us on the iTunes store or the podcast app on your phone. We love you all. Thank you. Keep your heads up. Stay positive. And peace the F out.